Good evening and welcome to the Ogden City Council meeting for Tuesday, July 26, 2016. Let the roll call reflect that all council members are present with the exception of Chair White, who is asked to be excused. First, we have asked Councilmember Nadolski to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We now ask that you join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Next on the agenda are a few recognitions. First is recognizing Charles Trenteman for his outstanding contributions to the Ogden community. And we've asked, and Councilmember Lopez has asked to read that.
Thank you. The Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize Charles Trenteman for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. Charles Trenteman has exhibited a strong sense of community pride in Ogden. His long-standing career as a journalist and columnist at the Standard Examiner encouraged residents to engage in critical thinking and charged them with becoming involved in bettering their community. He has been exemplary in community outreach and service, raising awareness of the needs of local organizations. He has supported the Utah Food Bank, Women's Shelter, National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and Youth Impact, along with many other groups. Charles serves on the Union Station Foundation Board of Directors and is working to make Union Station a business, cultural, and historical focal point of the city. He's married to Dr. Carla Trenteman, an assistant professor of sociology at Weber State University. They have 2 wonderful sons, 2 remarkable daughters-in-law, and 4 grandchildren. It is an honor and a privilege to present this recognition to Charles Trenteman. Thank you. Please come on up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Scoot over for our picture.
Can we have Charles' family to come up for a picture, please? Family and any other supporters?
Don't go away.
Please.
They're coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're coming.
It would ask me 38 years ago if I would have such an amazing family as this. I would have done
Right there's great. At the talk.
I figured somebody asked me to say something. Being a journalist, I have absolutely nothing prepared. But just as I was driving down here, I was just thinking what an amazing family I've got, and who wouldn't want to have a wonderful community, to have an amazing family like this. And I'm very grateful to the Standard Examiner for giving me a platform all those years to work with this council and work with the people in this city to make it better. I see people criticize Ogden today, and I just don't know what town they're talking about anymore, because at this stage of the game, and I actually said this to one, Ogden could give Disneyland lessons on family-friendly and community beauty. You go down 25th Street now, and it's just a wonderful place, and that's all to the credit of this city council and the people that work here. And I get to work with Mark here on a very regular basis, and I'm just always amazed at the dedication of the city employees that I get to work with down at Union Station, and so I thank you all for that. I have to credit my beautiful wife, who's been a wonderful support for me for all these years. She inspires me to keep finding ways to work in the city. I'm inspired by my children who work to build their towns, Ogden and Salt Lake City, and in Ben's case, the entire state of Utah. Who wouldn't be inspired by that? And I also, I have to give a credit to some people that I've worked with over the years that I've met. A guy named Alan Hall, you may have heard of him, he and his wife are just an inspiration to me, and I blame him for wanting to be involved. And I enjoy working down at Union Station. I think Union Station, when you drive down 25th Street, that's what you see. And to get to be involved in making that such a wonderful place, I mean, to me, that's just heaven. I'm just having a good time. And so I thank you all very kindly. I get to work with, I should have recognized Elizabeth Sutton, who is here. She's our executive director. Where'd you go? She's hiding back over there. Ogden has a real treasure in Elizabeth, because she's working her buns off to make Union Station the wonderful place that it is, and so I want to give her a shout out. And I get to work with her. It's just fun. And so I almost feel silly getting an award for having a good time and seeing this town be what it can be. So thank you all very much. And Luis, thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next up is recognizing Kent Crookston for his outstanding contributions to the Ogden community and Utah's aerospace industry. Councilmember Heyer.
Thank you, Chair Blair. Appreciate the opportunity to recognize Kent. Says the Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize Kent Douglas Crookston for providing invaluable contributions to the Ogden community. Through his ingenuity, dedication, and passion, Kent bolstered Utah's aerospace industry. He was an innovator who loved to spend his free time at the Ogden Airport working on his lifelong dream of flying the Skywalker, a Jetson-inspired flying car. He founded an Ogden-based company, Mirror Image Aerospace, dedicated to that cause. Kent was an internationally recognized composites expert. He held senior positions at numerous composite companies, including ownership at TCB Composites, now Keomac, and executive positions at Contour Composites and Industrial Fiberglass. Kent shared his passion and ingenuity through his participation on numerous boards and committees. Kent's efforts and influence were key to the early development of advanced materials and composite training facilities and non-destructive testing labs at the Ogden-Weber Tech College and the Davis Applied Technology College. He served as the composites material director at the Davis Applied Technology College, where he designed a nationally recognized curriculum for the composites program. Kent shared his knowledge and his trained composite technicians for companies such as ATK, Boeing, and ITT XLS. We are saddened by Kent's passing and offer our sincere condolences to his family, friends, and other close associates. We are grateful for Kent's significant contributions to technological advances in our area and are confident that his legacy will continue for many years to come. I've had a little back knowledge of Kent. He was very passionate in the composites field, learning from one of my old high school instructors and then ramping it up beyond what you could ever imagine. We were saddened at his early passing, but this is a picture of the scale model of this Jetson flying plane. And he will be the Philo Farnsworth of our transportation in years to come, so we're grateful to recognize him. So if we could have Pat come up and the family. Bring the fam up. Come on, you guys. Some of his family is carrying on this legacy, and so they're going to be the people that finish this Skywalker. Let's take a picture.
Come on, all of you. Thank you so much.
We're going to follow her lead right now. This is Kent's parents coming up.
We want all the kids.
You kids can come. Yeah.
Come on, kids.
Let's try something to tell.
Thank you.
Okay, Pat, if you give us.
Well, thank you so much. This is such an honor for us, the family, that you would recognize him. This is really, what an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our last recognition is a joint proclamation declaring August 2nd, 2016, National Night Out Day in Ogden City. Councilmember Garner.
Thank you. It's an honor to read this. This is a joint proclamation of the Ogden City Council and the Mayor declaring August 2nd, 2016 as National Night Out Day in Ogden City. Whereas National Night Out Against Crime is a community-building campaign designed to heighten crime prevention awareness, generate support for local anti-crime programs, and strengthen neighborhood spirit. National Night Out is observed annually on the first Tuesday in August by more than 16,000 communities throughout the United States, including several in Utah. And whereas National Night Out is an ideal opportunity to build partnerships and healthy relationships between law enforcement and community and send a message to criminals that our neighborhoods are organized and fighting back. The campaign, which dates back 33 years, was organized by the National Association of Town Watch, which found the most effective way to combat crime is to create a community mission. And whereas National Night Out increases awareness of police programs and allows residents to meet and mingle with law enforcement officials, emergency service personnel, firefighters, search and rescue workers, and citizen emergency response teams from throughout Weber County, it is one of the most successful and widely attended police events, with almost 1,500 people attending last year's event. And whereas the 2016 National Night Out event will take place at the Ogden Amphitheater in downtown Ogden from 5:30 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, August 2nd, throughout the evening there will be many opportunities for residents to gather information on services at no cost. This year's event includes free food, prizes, free bike helmets, a rock climbing wall, and a police canine demo. And whereas Ogden residents are asked to join people from across the nation in locking their doors, turning on their porch lights, and spending the evening outside with neighbors, law enforcement officials, public safety personnel, community groups, and businesses to aid in the fight against crime and build a stronger community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Ogden City Council and Mayor Michael P. Caldwell hereby proclaim August 2nd, 2016 as National Night Out Day.
in Ogden City, and we encourage residents to take advantage of the opportunity to learn more about crime prevention and public safety by attending the National Night Out event. We appreciate the significant efforts of those in our community who continue to make this annual event a success, and we are grateful for the outstanding and often arduous work that law enforcement officials and public safety personnel perform on a daily basis to keep our community safe. And with that, I make a motion that we approve this joint proclamation.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner to approve this joint proclamation, and a second by Councilmember Heyer. This is a roll call vote. I don't think so either.
Councilmember Garner.
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer.
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair.
Aye. Thank you. That passes.
And
We do have Diane and Lieutenant Ledford. They should both come up, and Chief, you probably ought to join them.
So Deanna and
Diane is the one that does all the work. Lieutenant, come on up.
Go on. Lieutenant. Thank you. Okay. What'd you think?
Deanna? Or Chief? Oh, picture first? Let's do the picture.
One rose and two thorns.
Are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Could I just tell you, publicly, I want to say how much we appreciate Diana Lopez, our community outreach coordinator. She puts an enormous amount of work and effort into this event, and all of the kudos and accolades go to her for what she does for us. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Next up is the approval of minutes. First is the work session of April 3rd, 2016. Councilmember Lopez.
Yes, Vice Chair. I reviewed the minutes and I found them to be correct, and just want to note to make sure that we correct the date for the notes, which should be April 21st and not April 3rd.
Okay. Next is the joint work session of May 3rd, 2016. Councilmember Nadolski.
thank you, Vice Chair Blair. I've reviewed those minutes and found them accurate to my recollection.
And the regular meeting of May 3rd, 2016. Councilmember Stevens.
Yes, Vice Chair, they're correct, and I make a motion that we adopt the minutes that have been presented with the corrections.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Stevens and a second by Councilmember Nadolski to adopt the minutes with the noted corrections. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Next is the reports from administration. First is the mandatory water connection amendment tabled from July 5th, 2016.
I don't think Kenton was expecting to speak before 10:30, but I think he's prepared.
Welcome back.
Well, it's good to be back. So, members of the council, it's a pleasure to be here today. Appreciate Mr. Johnson allowing me to represent the administration here tonight. So the revised ordinance incorporated some of the feedback that we received on the original night that the ordinance was presented.
Speak up.
Yes, I can. That the ordinance was presented to council. And specifically regarding some exemptions related to culinary wells. And so the revised ordinance has two sections added to it. One, Section E, which is regarding what the exemption is, and then Section F, which discusses the exemption being terminated. Now, the exemption provides that any well within city limits that was using culinary water to feed a home prior to July 1st, 2016 would be exempt from the mandatory connection requirement. So that is what the exemption is. And then the way that exemption would be lost is that if at any point that residence was to connect to the water system, the city's culinary water system, or if the well stopped being the culinary source of water for that dwelling, that exemption would be lost, and then they would be required to connect to the city's system if they hadn't already done so. So that was the modifications to the ordinance, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
And just quickly, what's the process to notify or for the public to work on getting hooked up to the secondary water if they haven't done that?
So getting hooked up to the secondary water we don't own it or operate as a city. So they would contact the secondary provider in their area, which would either be Pineview Water Systems. On the north part of the city, it's all Pineview Water Systems if there's secondary water there. On the southern part of the city, Pineview services areas except on the very southern end, which is served by Weber Basin. So a citizen would contact one of those two entities to find out what their process is to connect. So that's how it would be. That's how it would be completed.
Don't have a question. I just wanted to really thank you and tell you that I truly appreciate. I had to leave early on our last meeting, but I was one of the ones that was trying to offer these exemption. And thank you for the work you and anyone else might have put forth to make this happen. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
so
we're
much.
a team, so
thank you.
we listen. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kenton?
Good work.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Or I'll entertain a motion.
Vice Chair Blair, I'll make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2016-44.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt proposed ordinance 2016-44 by Councilmember Nadolski with a second by Councilmember Garner. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Heyer.
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Councilmember Garner.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair.
Aye. Thank you. That passes. Next is the exchange zone, authorizing the creation of an exchange zone at the Franklin Public Safety Building.
Chief Ashman will be presenting this tonight. He does have a gun, but the bullets are in his pocket, so it shouldn't be threatening.
Forever, we kind of had an informal arrangement with the public when they would call us and ask us if we could respond to provide an environment that was safe for people to exchange children with custodial arrangements and things of that nature. And recently, the council suggested that our police department take a look at formalizing that arrangement, and in particular because of the increase in commerce over the internet, people using KSL.com and Craigslist and those types of websites to conduct business. The council suggested that it would be a good idea for us to follow some of the other police departments across the country and designate a space specifically for our citizens to be able to conduct that type of business in an area that would be monitored by video surveillance. And so we took that recommendation. We got with our IT department. We replaced the cameras in our parking lot to a higher grade video. We focused them specifically on this area and created the area where this type of activity can take place in hopes that it will be a much safer environment for our citizens rather than just meeting them in some parking lot or some area where the person that they're dealing with that they don't know may have an advantage and take advantage of them. So that's the reason for this joint resolution, and I speak in favor of it.
Okay. Any questions for the chief?
I have one. Chief, if someone was exchanging children in a divorce situation, is that possible at this location also?
Yes, that's one of the reasons for this. That's one of the things that we looked at specifically, in addition to purchasing things over the internet.
Is there a demarcation of this area that will be under video surveillance, though, so that people would know that they're being watched?
It is. It's marked on the pavement, and it's also marked with signage.
And how will we publicize this? Will we?
We plan after this, if this passes tonight, we plan on posting that on our internet site, and we'll be doing a press release with the council.
Great.
Advertise it.
Well, thank you for all that you did for that and the work that went into it.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion or a motion?
I make a motion, Vice Chair, that we adopt Exchange Zone Proposed Resolution 2016-10.
I second it.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lopez to adopt proposed joint resolution 2016-10 and a second by Councilmember Stevens. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. So thank you. Next up are reports from the Planning Commission for the West Ogden rezone.
Clint Spencer will be presenting that tonight.
Okay.
Well, it's good to be with you again. Just for reintroduction purposes, my name is Clint Spencer. I've been with the city for just 3 months. This is my second time here, so if I seem new, I am. This request is a request from the city to rezone portions of the West Ogden community from the R4 and the M1 zones to the R15. This area specifically is on the block of 26 between 26 and Binford and between F and G avenues. So the existing conditions, so this was heard by the Planning Commission on April 6th. Just a background on these existing conditions. For the most part, it's all single family. As you can see on the pie diagram there, 68% is single family. Much of it is vacant, and then there is one property that is a multifamily dwelling. I believe it's a fourplex on the north, maybe on the northwest or northeast corner of this proposed rezone. Some of the pictures that you see there are pretty typical for the area. Again, just largely a single-family type of situation out there. So some of the reasons for considering this rezone, first and foremost, would be that the West Ogden Community Plan, which was initialized by the city and then developed in conjunction with the residents there. This is something that they wanted to see in the long term, and so the planning. Well, we felt it important to start to implement that plan. And so this is one of the steps in that West Ogden Community Plan is to rezone this area. The second bullet there is showing that the zoning would reflect the current use. As I mentioned before, to have this area zoned as M1 or R4 doesn't really fit the existing conditions. To rezone it back into a residential would rezone it into an R15, which fits most of the current conditions. 68% of the existing properties there are already single family. A large portion is vacant, so that would develop into single family under the R15 zone. And then there would be one non-conforming use, which would be that existing fourplex. And another issue that came up as this was being discussed is that the zoning reflects actual potential of the area to develop. Apparently, there's a challenge with servicing the area more than it is with single family in terms of water service. In talking with some of the planning staff, the discussion has been that anything over 2 stories would be difficult to serve with water that has multiple units in it. But if there's enough water service there to provide for a single family, just not for a lot of multifamily or heavy industrial M1 type uses. So the zoning would also reflect this actual potential development with utilities there. When this came before the Planning Commission, the recommendation was 6-2 to approve. The no votes, their explanations for it anyways, is one of the commissioners felt that this should be done by the property owners, and essentially this kind of has been done by the property owners through the development of the West Ogden Community Plan. This is not something that came from the city, but it was in conjunction working with those neighbors out there. This is something that they wanted to see done, and so that's why we brought it forth. And then there was a concern about density change, just because developing under the R15, if there's a water shortage for high density, the R15 is a smaller lot development, so that would have a higher density than like an R16 or R18, R110, something like that. But in going back to my initial comments about water service, there is enough water service for a single-family residence, just not more heavy industrial or multifamily type of uses. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to address any of them.
I am grateful that you brought up the community plan, the citizens. In a couple of meetings that we've had out there to review the community plan, both at the fire station and at the Catholic Community Services, this was brought up by citizens.
Right.
So thank you for listening to them.
You're welcome. Wasn't actually me, but
yeah.
I'm here to take the credit. So.
Yeah. No further questions? Thank you. We now have the opportunity to receive input on this rezone. So if anyone is here to speak on this item, please come forward and state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Seems there's no movement. I'll make a motion that we adopt this property rezone in West Ogden. And
I'll second. 2016-45.
Yeah.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner to adopt proposed ordinance 2016-45 and a second by Councilmember Heyer. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski?
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens?
Aye.
Councilmember Garner?
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer?
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair?
Aye, that passes. Thank you. Next up is public comments. This is an opportunity to address the council regarding concerns or ideas on any topic. To be considerate of everyone at this meeting, public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Participants are to state their name and address for the record. Comments which cannot be made within these limits should be submitted in writing to the council office. Time is yours.
Hello, my name is John Christensen. My address is 960 Taylor Avenue, Ogden, Utah. I'm part of the Ogden Chicken Alliance. I'd just like to say hi and then introduce myself. I'd like to get some input from the council members and start a dialogue with you guys. That's all I have. Thank you. Thank you for your hard work, too.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none. Comments from the administration?
Of course, we just kind of finished the week of a lot of hours for city employees with Pioneer Days. Lieutenant Ledford's here, and I just thought I'd ask him to pass on to his employees how grateful we are for their extra effort during Pioneer Days. They work a lot of hours. And every time I saw them at the rodeo or the parade or anywhere else, they had smiles on their face and treated our citizens great. And that goes for Jay's people and the fire people, everyone. We put a lot of hours of city time into those events. And Lieutenant, we hope you'll pass that on to your employees.
Thank you. Comments from council members?
I just want to second some of the comments that Mr. Johnson made. I think they had prepared the rodeo and parade route and everything so that it was safe, and that included everybody that you mentioned with our fire and police and the park individuals, Perry, Ernie, all of those guys did a great job, and it was good to see that our city was well represented. Thank you.
I also echo those sentiments. I believe we worked hard for that, and appreciate the effort by our employees, both in police and fire and parks and recreation and Jay's group, and even our other employees that are working here in this building added a great deal and throughout the city. So I appreciate their efforts.
So I'd like to just say thanks. Mark, if you could pass along my appreciation to Jay and his staff for this. He left before I could say thanks, but there's a small issue in my neighborhood involving a stop sign, and there's a lot of people who are pretty excited about the city taking a close look at traffic patterns in the East Bench, and there've been a little bit of difference of opinion, but I just wanted to pass along to Jay and the staff that every single person, with only an exception or two, has been in support of what's been proposed there, and they've asked me to pass along my appreciation to the administration. So please do that for me and for my neighborhood. Thanks.
Same with me. I appreciate, I don't think we have a real appreciation for the amount of time it takes for our city personnel to take care of this stuff. But it happens so flawlessly, and it happens in the background, and so please pass my thanks as well. I heard many comments from people that went to the parade and to the rodeo that, why would you live anywhere else? Ogden is just a great place to be. And it just makes me really proud to be part of what's going on here in Ogden.
One quick comment. It hasn't been that long since the unfortunate police shootings that we've had happening around the country, where some police officers have lost their lives. And given that we had this proclamation about the Night Against Crime out today, and given that we have the lieutenant here, and I wish I would have been able to make the comments when the chief was here, but if Mark, if you don't mind, also please extending my appreciation and my regard to the chief and to all our police officers that are going probably through a difficult time given the state of our nation with these tensions that are happening. I really hope that at some point we can do something for our police officers for them to know that we appreciate what they do, and we appreciate them being out there putting their lives on the line, and not a lot of people understand what that's like. And so just wanted to get that off my chest, and hopefully you can, Lieutenant, help me pass it on to the troops, and also thank you for the wonderful work during the parade. We appreciate what you guys do. Thank you.
Excellent. Well said. Okay. No other comments. I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Garner and a second by Councilmember Nadolski. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Just for FYI, there will be a continuation of the previous work session, and that'll take place in the